During the summer of 2021, collegiate sports was altered with the implementation of NIL. College athletics hit the new age of the name, image, and likeness Wild West. In this new day and age, the cream of the crop schools are allowed to spend their vast amount of wealth. Smaller athletic schools like the University of North Texas have been forced to try and keep up. That begs the question, can UNT actually keep up? Can they survive?
Players being paid is not a new concept, but what NIL caused was a land grab where financial reasons now become a legal way to attract athletes. Ever since the fateful summer, player transactions have increased year after year.
In 2025, at least 50 athletes across the country have an estimated NIL deal worth seven figures. Athletes like Arch Manning, Cooper Flagg, and Livy Dunn are getting over $4 million. The higher of which Manning is getting close to $7 million, all of which are going to colleges with annual athletic revenues well over $150 million.
In comparison, UNT brought in just $45 million in athletic revenue in the 2023 fiscal year, which ranked 75th in the whole country for public schools. The reported highest earning NIL athlete at UNT was quarterback Chandler Morris. During the 2024 season, he reportedly just earned north of $300,000 in NIL money.
On December 16th, 2024, Morris entered the transfer portal and committed to the University of Virginia. UNT football coach Eric Morris, when speaking to Mean Green 24/7, said, "It's eye-opening when you have a guy like Chandler Morris and they are offering him a certain amount and seeing what the counteroffers were from the other schools. And everybody's like, holy moly. We're a little bit further down the road, but I think that's every Group of 5 school. I mean, that's not just us."
Coach Morris is correct. The wealth gap between larger schools and smaller schools has never been more evident than in the present day. That is not necessarily a negative or a positive thing. It is, however, just the nature of current collegiate athletics.
NIL and the creation of the transfer portal has created an effective combo in collegiate sports. UNT in the last couple of years has become a victim and a beneficiary of the combo. The men's basketball program is a prime example. In 2024, Jason Edwards, Aaron Scott, Reuben Jones, CJ Nolan, and John Bucks III all transferred for potentially more exposure and NIL money. In total, those players accounted for 60 points per game. Despite that loss, the team in 2024-25 season had a better year, due in part because of the addition of many players to the same portal that allowed the players just named to transfer out of Denton.
Officially licensed apparel is one of the avenues to make monies for athletes now. In the past, it would cause dramatic punishments on the universities and players, but now it allows athletes to potentially make handfuls of money legally just from clothing. Each school is different with how it deals with it, and many players at larger schools get more money from than they could at a school like UNT. UNT has a merch store, which is partnership with the NIL store. Sean Ellenby is the director of marketing and communication for the NIL store.
Sometimes we work directly with the athletic department. Other times we work directly with the licensing staff that's on campus. Some schools, they're licensing on campus, and then they have the athletic department. Some they're combined, so it's always a different situation. But essentially, in order to get a store started at the NIL store, we just have to obtain the school's NIL license. And so what that means is essentially the school is granting us the license to be able to use their official athletics marks on apparel.
The biggest issue right now is how much the new NIL is a land grab. There are thousands of different people involved in NIL and the NCAA, and a lot of red tape nationally and individually at each school.
I think the hardest part of the NIL space is there is some rules and regulations, but every school has different interpretations on how they can implement NIL within their strategy.
Officially licensed merch can provide a source of income for those smaller athletes at those smaller schools like UNT. The main source, though, is collectives. Collectives are outside organizations that partner with schools to allow athletes to gain sponsorships and get paid through NIL. UNT has two main collectives, the Mean Green Collective and the Light the Tower Collective. JP Hadley is the NIL sales and development person for UNT. The community of Denton is a big part in providing financial resources to UNT, as Hadley knows personally.
And then there's other contracts that are straight up marketing contracts, and that's what I've dealt with most of my time here, where I go out and scout and drive around DFW, knock down doors, find people who maybe have always wanted to support UNT but never really understood how, or if they didn't want to do it through general scholarship funding, or they didn't want to just kind of be another name on one of the donors lists. They wanted to feel like they were directly giving to the athlete. And so, that's where NIL gives the opportunity for a different type of funding. And we can have these businesses around Denton who want to feel like they're directly contributing to the success of our athletes. And I'll bring that and negotiate the contracts for the players. I'll get them to agree on which players they'd like to work with. And then so on and so forth from there. And then when it comes to the execution, and that all goes by, it's on a case-to-case basis of what were the details we agreed on when that agreement happens, making sure that our athletes are there on time, making sure that they have elite attention to detail, and making sure that there's no blips in the contract to where we can renew that contract following and continue that partnership with the brand.
A recent development was the House versus NCAA settlement, which awarded former collegiate athletes $2.8 billion in the NIL back pay. Additionally, it potentially establishes $20.5 million per year revenue share cap for schools to disperse amongst the programs. By adding the upper level cap, it keeps the wealthy schools limited to make it fair for the smaller schools like UNT. Jared Mosley is the athletic director at UNT, and he spoke about how the recent legislation might change the UNT and how it deals with the NIL.
So in those collectives, moving forward, donor-based collectives are not going to be permissible anymore. So as schools move to revenue sharing, what we're trying to do is, try to leverage donors who have an interest in providing those opportunities for student athletes, trying to get those donors that have been engaged in these collectives to just funnel their investments through us, and then we'll manage revenue sharing with student athletes. And so, you kind of have the traditional outside NIL opportunities that, again, I think continue to grow. And then if the House case settles, we'll be, pursuing more traditional revenue share that you hear a lot of schools talking about right now.
NIL as a whole has been vital for not just the larger sports like football and basketball, by allowing all athletes the chance of getting additional revenue through NIL. It benefits the schools themselves. UNT has a very large student body, but smaller athletic revenue. NIL allows many more student athletes to get compensated, which helps schools like UNT stay relevant. Mallory Lettweiler is an athlete for the women's golf program here at UNT, and she has personally benefited from NIL.
Personally, like, I don't have time for a job, and so it doesn't mean I don't need money, but the NIL opportunities I have are just that form of that income that I can put towards either like more practice or like going somewhere, like a membership back home if I am home and I'm not here, or putting it towards, like, whenever I was there, I said I put it towards all the money I got was towards my golf after school. So like qualifying school for golf and all of that. So I was saving it all for that. That way it would be easier to get into that after college. And everyone has a different thing that they're going to use it for, but that's personally what I was using it for.
If we're being honest, UNT has never been a premier sports university in this country. Despite that fact, UNT has routinely improved. In 2023, the school joined the American Athletic Conference, which is right behind the Power 4 conferences in athletic prowess. Many programs like the football program and basketball programs have experienced recent success. Revenue is increasing year after year. Student enrollment is outpacing many other schools in the country. Doug Marshall, director of track and field, said, "I believe we're in a great position at UNT to continue navigating the NIL landscape. We've got a strong foundation, committed leadership, and a great fan base. We're working every day to adapt and support our student athletes."
Can UNT survive the NIL era? The answer, like most things, is unknown. Doug Marshall has the right idea, though. It starts from the top, with leadership that believes in the sports program and an ever-growing student body / alumni pool. Anything can be possible.